Hello. So, let's see. Fourth week of November done. Got a lot done, and had Turkey Day, so I was on vacation for a while. But anyways, first up, the things that will hopefully be helpful for other people. What do we do? First there was if you find your sound effects, you have too many going on, and your sound effects start cutting out. Then what you do is you gotta go to your audio cues that are you should make for each sound effect. And then you have to come down here to concurrency and check override concurrency and set the maximum number that will play at any given moment. Also, it's a good idea to set your priority. In case you hit a cap anyways, it'll prioritize some over the other. Also, as far as which ones will play first. So, yeah, so that's that one. And then, what was it? That one was helped by Fausty off of a Unreal document. So, anyways, thank you, Fausty. Next one was getting music to stop and start, and the hints were from Irascible. I'm sure I said that wrong. But anyways, so the way to get your music on your game to turn on and off pretty easy. Just bind your music to a dispatcher event, and then when you go and call it, I have it set to the M key. So on the level blueprint, when I hit the M key, or on the player character, whichever. Anyways, it calls this, and this just does a flip flop to set music paused or unpaused, and can't show you guys music because it's music I'm not supposed to be using anyways, but it's just for now. So, anyways, that's how you get music to start and stop. Then there is, oh yeah, I was trying to optimize my game because I was getting heavy loads in some areas and the frame rates were starting to drop. So I posted on the forums, and thanks to Mordentral and MarcinW, they told me, or they tracked down and helped me find that it's strictly inside my event tick. I was a bad programmer and put a lot of stuff into event tick, and now I got it narrowed down to one little thing, but that one little thing is quite a bit. But I'm not sure how to narrow it down even more. So anyways, yes, thank you to those two for helping me out for that. So that's the other hint. Be mindful of your event tick. Stick nothing in there, because it's bad. Next up was getting a blood splatter to work. So all you gotta do is create a material with a texture on it under the base color. And then on the material domain over here, you set it to deferred decal, and then you set it's what is it, blending mode to translucent. You have to make sure to do the second part, otherwise it'll toss an error nowadays. It's a new thing in the latest version, but it works now. So just make sure to say deferred decal and translucent, and then what you get at that point is mats, decals. You can create a decal out here, so you could just say decal, deferred decal. You drag and drop it in here, and then under the texture, you say the one you want. I think this one, yeah. So, and they work like so. So just remember, create a material, set it to translucent, set it to be a deferred decal. Oh! Also, with the new one on the material, you have to make sure to put an emissive color, whether it be a bitmap or whatever. You have to have an emissive color for the color to come through. It's some new and improved system, they say, for making things run a little better. I don't know the old ones, I don't know. But anyways, and then I have it so anytime one of the little enemies gets killed, it spawns one of these little Splat actors, and the Splat actor also, so the Splat actor spawns one of those decals, and then spawns also a dynamic material instance. And with that dynamic material instance, you can do the fade out, because the fade out, you would think on these decal, well, wherever it went, on On the decals, you would think that you could use its ability to fade in and fade out, but alas, oh, like this guy, yeah, it has these values here that say fade or fade start delay and fade duration, but they actually don't do anything. Fade duration just turns the whole thing off. So you have to make sure that before you get to the end of that you fade it out. So I used a set timer event to wait 13 or 10 seconds in, and then spend the next 5 seconds using a timeline. And this timeline has a curve in it, and that in turn drives this fade curve that sets the scalar parameter in the material. So it changes the opacity via this curve here, and so it slowly fades out until it hits the end of that fade duration, and the whole thing just despawns and gets rid of itself. Yeah. Or hopefully it's despawning. I think it is. And then let's see. Oh, Ed Burgess. Yeah, there was a bug with the decals that his Unreal Forums post helped. So thank you, Ed. And then there was if you're ever trying to speed up a lighting build, is because, or not lighting, but materials. You know, when you open up a new scene and materials take forever to build. What you do is you open up, you Control Shift Escape in Windows 10, and then you open up your task manager, and you open up Unreal and set its priority to low, because apparently the materials get figured out in a background task, and if Unreal's priority is high, then they take forever. So if you set it to low in your Windows Task Manager, then the materials go up to the top and they get figured out much quicker. So anyways, very useful in case you're sitting there bored waiting for materials to get figured out. Just open up your Task Manager, and it's either turn Unreal's priority all the way up to the top or all the way to the bottom. Try them out, you'll see. And then there was the loveliness of when you package a game and you go and you want it to automatically start up in VR, the VR template doesn't do that. And none of them will do that automatically, but what you do to get it to do that is you say on your map or your game or whatever, on event begin play, you make sure to say execute console command, and the command is stereo on, and that will make it automatically go to work with the headset. And yeah, so speaking of, I'll get these going. Stuff I need to ask you guys is, right now, when I do damage to the enemies, I have it checking where it is, or doing an impact, and then doing a multi-sphere trace around the impact of the bullet, and then for each of those things that got hit, apply some damage, and then check the outer area, and for each of those that got hit, apply a little less damage. Now there are things like this right here, damage, apply radial damage with fall off, or apply radial damage. Yeah, either one of these. Now, these worked in a certain way, but not fully. What they did is they would shoot, hit the enemy, and the enemy would, die. That's if I hit an enemy. If I hit the ground in front of the enemy, well, okay, so when it hits the enemy dies, and then nothing around it dies. However, I needed to do a blast radius. Now, the weird thing is when I shoot the ground in front of enemies, then it does the radius, and a whole bunch of them would die. So for some reason, when it hits an enemy, nothing around it dies, except for it. But when I hit the ground in front of the enemy, then all of them die all at once. So if anybody knows how to fix that, I would love to use apply radial damage or radial damage with fall off, rather than having to do a multi-sphere trace and then run through the array, and then all that hoopla. I mean, it works, but it would be cool to use these spiffy little things that come with Unreal. So that's one question. Oh, and the other question was, right now my main lag issue is running all the enemies off of physics, and I'm hitting about 200 of them. So I know that's a lot of physics bodies to be running around and exploding and dying and having all that stuff. But right now, right here on my event tick, this is the only thing that's running on the event tick. And it's how the enemies move. It's just a few little simple things to figure out where the player is, and then angle towards them and apply a force to the physics motion. Now multiply that times 200 enemies or trying for more. That becomes a problem. So if there's, I could do the usual the nav meshes, but nav I'm not sure about getting nav critters to come at me while bouncing and flying all over each other and smashing into everything and being chaotic. I'm not sure nav mesh could pull that off. That's why I'm using physics. But if there's a different way of getting physics to run elsewhere quickly, that would be super helpful. Rather than event tick every single time applying a force to them, or every single tick applying a force, and then having them, have to figure out all their physics animation. Or if there's a way of toning down the physics animation. Anyways, if anybody has any helpful hints in that area, it'd be awesome. But yeah, and so that's all the tips I have for everybody out there, and questions I have for everybody. But I could to show you what I have done. I got a bunch of stuff. Added sounds, got particles in there, optimized everything, got everything a lot more organized. Let's see, Staggered their release. Oh, got much better mechanics as far as how the game runs, how the enemies are coming in at you in groups. Added them to splatter. Made them bounce around so they seem much more chaotic and lifelike. And let's see, a bunch of other stuff. Fixed a bunch, just fine-tuned a bunch of stuff. But I'll show you what it looks like. And then, let's see, make sure everything's registering. This one's up, that one's up. Yeah. Alright, so all we should have to do is hit play. Sadly, I need to figure out how to make the screen bigger so you guys can see more of it. But, for now, here it is. And then we got our usual gun with the blasts. And somewhere around, behind us, there they are. Yeah. So, as you can see, they come in and they hop around and they come in by quite bucket loads. And yeah, so there goes another pack of them. And yeah, so they're pretty chaotic. They leave these little blood splatters. Some of them get, blasted around like that. And yeah, but there was the next pack down that way coming. And yeah, so that's that. But yeah, it's getting to feel like when you have both guns in your hands and you see the packs come in. That's what I need to remember to do, is add a sound effect and a flash of light where they come in, so that you have a cue to know which direction they're coming from, and to help with the gameplay mechanics. But yes, it's moving along quite swimmingly, getting to where I can actually start testing, I think. So I'm sending it to a few friends and going to see what they think of it so far, and if they have any ideas where to go from here. And yes, hopefully this has been recording still. Yes, it has. Good. So anyways, hope everybody had an awesome Thanksgiving. Hopefully nobody disowned any family members. I know it's been a trying time, but my Thanksgiving was awesome. Yeah, hope everybody else's was. And yeah, hope your December starts out lovely. And if anybody has any questions or hints on what I should be doing for this kind of thing, please let me know. It is always appreciated. And yeah, I guess I will see you a week from now. Alright, enjoy the December beginnings. Yeah. Peace.